Hi there. This time around, we're going to talk about how to create a pricing plans component for your web SaaS application. If you find this useful and want to use these components in your application, just grab the whole thing with the links in the description below for free. For this project, we're going to be using a web SaaS application that I developed called Elovian. You could visit elovian.com if you want to know more about it, but for now, we're only concentrating on the pricing plans component. The idea is not just to handle the layout and the plan's content like the title, the price, and the features list, but also to handle the subscribe functionality. On top of that, to make our lives more difficult, we're going to offer the Spanish version as well when needed. Okay, let's look at some code. Let's start with the configuration file. Wait, what? Why are you using a configuration file for this? Well, since I can never get any users and I know I have to change my plans constantly, I wanted a quick and automated way to make changes to this. Let's look at the configuration array. For the subscriptions config file, we have a plans array, and inside of it we have the different plans like free and monthly. Now let's look at the data for each plan. There is an ID, which in this case is just the word free, the plan name in lowercase and without spaces because it's going to be used for the translations, files, keys, the price value in cents because we are using Stripe, and finally the features array where we find the translations keys that we use to get the final features title. We also have a params array that we use for different configurations for the features titles. In this case, for example, we want the title to have the accent color and it will show up like this in the front end. We also have the strike through setting as well as a placeholder for the count, and it will show up like this in the front end. There is also a % placeholder that we can use, and it will show up like this in the front end. And finally, this is how the placeholders work in the translation files. Now let's look at the pricing plans Livewire component class. First, I'm injecting a dependency to the subscription service class I created to handle the Laravel cashier Stripe integration. Then we have the start checkout function that handles the subscribe functionality. First, we check if this is a free plan and simply redirect the user to the registration page. If this is not a free plan, we continue and we get the price ID, which is the Stripe price IDs in the config file. Then we need to check if this is an existing user. This is because we can use this component not just in the home page, but also inside the user's dashboard for them to upgrade. So if this is not an existing user, we redirect to the register page, including the price ID as a param. This way, we make the user register first before paying for the subscription. And lastly, if this is an existing user, we create the checkout session to get the URL to redirect the user to pay for the subscription. Now, let's look at the front end. First, we have a Flash custom component I created to handle the errors and warning messages from the subscription. Then, after that, we are creating a visible plans variable if the user is logged in. This is because if the user already has an account, it's already using the free plan and we do not want to show it again. The next section is the loop that creates each plan. We are using the free Flux components, but you could replace them with whatever you want. Now for the price title, first we try to detect if this is the free plan and show that name. But if not, we format the currency to display the price. Then we have the features list. We loop through them and then apply the settings we already discussed. And finally, we have the subscribe button, where we trigger the start checkout method and we set up the button variant for the free plan. Thank you for watching this video and I hope this is useful to you.